Hi everybody, it's Sally from Sally Stampers. Thank you for joining me today. Today I'm bringing you my Peony Garden surprise box. The top, as you can see, is already decorated with some really cute, just hands-free, swirly cut flowers, which I will show you how I made. But aren't they so gorgeous? And look at those little embellishments inside, just glittering away. Love them. So that's my box. As you can see, I've used the Dainty Diamonds embossing folder all the way around as well. And then when we take the top off, we have a kind of exploding box, I guess, and it has another little box inside. As you can see here, I've used one of those beautiful doilies as well. And then, to be fair, this is just a basic little box in a box. And I've just used the DSP and stuck it on diagonally. I'm not going to witter on too much about all of this because obviously it will take us a little while to get it made, and there's quite a bit of DSP used in this as well. I'm going to leave my lid off. I'm just going to pop this over here so I can sort of let you see it whilst I progress. So I'm going to start off by making the small box, this little one inside, because that's the easiest part. So for the lid you will need a piece of DSP that is, oh no, I've just realised I haven't done centimetres. I do apologise. I will make sure these are on my blog. I'm really sorry. So the small box lid is 3 inches by 3 inches and it's scored at 3/4 of an inch on all 4 sides. And the largest piece for the box base is 4.5 by 4.5 and we'll score all the sides at 1.5 inches. So let's start with that. Now for the lid, as I said, it is 3 by 3, but when I scored this, for some reason I had a real issue with scoring it. I don't know what was going on, why it wasn't working, but it was just playing a ridiculous game. The only way I could find it to fit was to use a double thickness card shim. That was the only way it would work. I have no clue why, just that's the way it is. So 3 by 3, a double thickness cardstock, and we're scoring at 3/4 of an inch on all the 4 sides. As I say, I do apologise that I haven't done centimetres. I'm in the midst of having my house decorated, and I've had to prepare all of August's videos as well and get those prepped and ready, and so I've just completely been frantically trying to get my videos prepared, then get them filmed. I've had cards to make and my blogs to write, etc. So it has been a little bit crazy. And yeah, so unfortunately one little thing did get missed, but as I said, I will promise that the centimetres will be on my blog. So this is the box, the small box base, and as I say, it is a very simple, just a simple box, just easy make, cut your corners, create your tabs. You know, boxes are boxes now. We've got quite a few, I've got quite a few tutorials on boxes, and I know some of my other fellow demonstrators do boxes as well, so there's always going to be one out there that will fit for whatever you need, I'm sure. So, and I thought this would actually be a nice, I hate to use the word Christmas in July, it's not right, is it? But this would make a nice Christmas gift to put some earrings in, maybe. Small piece of jewellery in the centre. I think that would look really smart. So, just, okay. And as I said, it is just always the same, easy. Cut the tabs, create your little wedges. This paper's really hard to actually see the score lines. Just have to keep an eye on it. There we go. And just the last one. Okay. So, I know I've just shifted that slightly. Right, so let's do my base first, and I'm fairly certain that my Seal Plus is going to run out because I've been using it all day. So today when this does come out to you, I will more than likely be back in my craft room and ready to create more lovely things. But obviously at the moment I'm just stuck with this week trying to get everything done. So I'm a couple of weeks ahead here. So yeah, it's a bit it's really hard to try and remember to say stuff that's relevant to you guys when it's like weeks ahead for me here. Anyway, never mind. So I'm gonna just pop some snail seal even on my lid, and you know how I do my lids now. So I make my box, pop it on, fold these bits in, don't get stuck, make sure everything's tight, and then pop it on the top. And there we go, a nice lidded box. And then I'm just going to pop. So on this one, I did actually use the Petal Pink metallic edged ribbon. I thought it was so pretty. I'm going to use our sweet one here, which is the Grey Granite Shimmer ribbon. So I need to try and make this bow as small as possible to sit nicely on the top of this box. So just tidy that bit up, make it even, or just pull that one, I think is probably a better option. Right, just trim the tails off there and that one there, and then move that out of the way. I'm just going to grab a lovely glue dot to pop that onto my ribbon, and that will sit diagonally on my little box. I'm just going to take the lid off again so as I can pinch that glue dot in place, pop my lid back on. Right, there we go. Little box made. So I'm going to pop that to one side. So now we're going to make the main attraction. So I have gone with Smoky Slate on the original. This is now Grey Granite, and where are my measurements? So this is 9 by 9 inches, and this is the base, and we're going to score it at 3 inches on all 4 sides. Okay, and then we're going to decorate it. Well, we're going to do what we need to do and then we'll decorate it. So we're going to fold and burnish all of these score lines. I'm going to zoom out a little bit because I feel that I'm a bit close here. You probably have to see a mess on my desk, but that's better. You can see a bit more now. So fold and burnish all of these score lines. Now if you want to use a trimmer for this part, then you can do. But what you're going to do is cut away the 4 corners. Keep hold of these squares because you can always use them for other projects. But you need to cut these away completely. No wedges, no tabs. You need to just cut them away. But obviously you need to make sure you've got a fairly decent cut because it will be these edges that we're going to be leaving. So you obviously just need to make sure that they're straight and tidy, and as I'm using some big scissors here, so you can do almost one whole cut. As I say, all the way to the bottom. Itchy nose. I hope my hay fever doesn't start today. I've been in my craft room for a couple of hours this morning and I've not had any hay fever symptoms. How much are we going to bank on the fact that I have lots of videos to film today? My nose will start running and I'll start sneezing again. How bizarre. Right, so those are my 4 squares. I'm just going to pop them out of the way because I don't need them, but as I say, you can use them for something else. So this is my box, and as you can see, it's sort of already going wherever it wants to go. So we'll do the inside first, and for the inside I have 5 squares of the DSP that are 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going with the grey side just because that one had pink, and we're just going to go along and pop all these inside. As I say, this is where you need to make sure that your cutting was straight, because this will show it up. All the way round. And my last one here. And this is just, I just love this sweet so much. Okay, once that's all done, I'm going to grab a doily. Just need one. Just need one doily. And I always check my doily, because sometimes when they've been laser cut, you might still get a bit like a die cut. You might get the, is it the negative? The bit that's still stuck in. So just always check them. And to be honest, all I did with this was just put a small cross of adhesive in the centre. I lay my beautiful doily on the top. It doesn't really show up as well on this one, but you can still see it. And then, oh, I'm trying. Did you see what I did then? I tried to pick this box up to stick down. Crazy me. And then I've gone back in with my my Seal Plus, and just gone over that cross, just very slightly, so that now I can stick my box on. Now again, if you can see on the doily, there is this sort of inner, that's not very clear, is it? Let me grab a clear one. That's better. So if you can see on the doily, you've got this like a cross pattern in the centre. So if you use that for your guidance on where you're putting your doily, these 4 circles here actually just about fit where your box wants to go. So if you can line them up, pop your lid off and then press your finger on the inside, your box will pretty much be in the centre. Okay, so use the doily as a guide. So that's that part done, and I probably shouldn't have done that, but never mind. Now we need to stick the panels on, which is why you probably shouldn't have stuck that on first, never mind. So the panels for the outside, we have quite a few of. So the layer, you're going to need to put one aside there for the lid actually, so ignore those. So you will need 4 layers of 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, and then 4 embossed layers at 2.5 by 2.5. So I'm actually going to use my snail that I still have left here for this, because there's a lot of this adhering. So you're going to adhere a embossed panel onto your cardstock panel. So I'm going to whiz along and do all of these, and this is why I probably shouldn't have glued that little box in, because now I haven't got the flat to put this on. Never mind. You'll be making it all in your own time, so you'll be able to do it properly, I'm sure. So get those onto here, and then I'm going to actually use my seal for this. All of these need to then go onto the outside of your box. So again, whoops, work your way around, sticking these on. this. Oh, come on. Thank you. And then this one, and then one more to go. Which is this last one. Okay, so now we have the inside of the box done and the outside. So we now just need to move on to our lid. So the lid is 5 inches by 5 inches. I'm going to grab one of those squares and we're going to score at 1 inch on all 4 sides. Oops, that slid, didn't it? So 1 inch on all 4 sides. Don't forget your shim. Oops, crumbs, that was a bit loud, wasn't it? I'm going to prepare this lid ready, but I'm not going to make it up. I'm not going to make the same mistake as I did for the base. So fold and burnish all of those. Trim our corners ready for adhering, but as I say, we're not going to do that at this stage because we need to decorate it. All 4 corners, trim these wedges down, okay, and then the panels that we had on the sides of our box, we're going to need exactly the same again for the lid. So if you remember, it was 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 for this one, which goes on the top centre. And then this one was 2.5 by 2.5 embossed. And then you'll need 4 pieces for the sides. So again, we've got, let me just check these are all the wrong way around for adhering. So for the sides, you will need, okay, that's confused me massively. Anyway, you will need 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, and then your little bit will be 2.5 by 1/2. So it is a filly little bit. You can either emboss a whole sheet in one go and then cut them down, or you can cut the pieces and stick them in your embossing machine. I did the latter. I cut them and then stuck them in my embossing folder and then just ran them through. But it really doesn't matter either way, which way you do it. So now we'll just stick these onto the sides. Oh, lots of glue. Let's just tuck that back under. 2 more sides left. Stick that one on there. It's a bit wonky, isn't it? And then this last one. Oh, excuse me, I must have tempted fate there by talking about sneezing. Okay, so that's that done, and that is your lid done. So if you wanted to leave it like that or just put a sentiment on, that's fine. I obviously wanted to do some decoration. So the first thing I want to do is I'm just going to do my leaves because they were fairly simple to do. So I've just grabbed my leaf from the prized Peony, and I've got some Pear Pizzazz here, and I'm sure I did actually stamp off for that one. Yes, I did. Stamped them off just because they're a little bit lighter and a little bit nicer. Move that right out of the way, and then I need my Peony dies. And I need my leaf into that one? I think it is, yes. So there's my die. And I'm just going to quickly grab my die cutting machine. Ooh. I can't wait to get the new one. It'll be so much nicer, and the tiny one as well will just be perfect for these jobs, won't it? So I'm just going to pop. Oh, come on, don't play this game. At this rate we might only have one leaf because it won't. It wants to keep shifting, so we'll see. If I don't get the second one pretty quickly, then I will sack this idea off and we'll just go with one leaf. Okay, we might get two then. We'll go with 2 leaves on this one. Okay, so put that out of the way, and then so those are my leaves, and then I've got some small bits of paper here, and what I'm going to do is I simply get a pencil. I do apologise, I'm going to have to just quickly blow my nose. So frustrating. And I have been trying the whole honey thing as well. I think it's because my head's forward, leaning forward over the desk. So anyway, so what you need to do with your piece of DSP, and I just simply sort of do a circle. That's gone off the edge. And you just sort of go round and round to the middle, get your snips and follow it round. Doesn't have to be perfect. I did find that doing this kind of scalloped effect does work better. So I'm just gonna, and I'm not really following my pencil lines now, I'm just sort of going with what's there. And then what you then do is follow your circles. Oops. Follow them. I've done this back to front, but it doesn't matter. So just follow these circles round all the way to the centre. So as you can see, I'm making this little spiral. Go all the way as far as you can get round to the centre. So as you see, I've now got this spiral effect. And then you start from the centre and you're just going to pull it round and work the rest of your spiral round. And then as you can see, if you pull it a bit tighter, which you can sort of just do by twisting it if you like with your thumb in the centre, you almost, and that's sort of created quite a big flower. Now all I wanted to do here, because obviously I've got those pencil marks all over it, so I'm just going to quickly open it out. But obviously be very careful when you do this, because you can rip it, because it's quite thin pieces of DSP now. Alternatively, dependent on how you're doing this, you can always use the reverse side of the paper. So obviously I've done this on the light side, but if you wanted to, you could go and do it this way. Okay, so you just follow the scallop the opposite way, and then you just keep going, and that way the pencil's sort of on the back, but you've got the flower with the pretty on the inside. Okay, so I'm not going to do 3 of these because it will take me ages, but I just wanted to give you the idea, and I also wanted to show you how to adhere them. So I simply used a glue dot on the end. Okay, so once you're fairly happy with how your flower looks, that glue dot on the end will hold it in place. Okay, I then grab my paper piercing, no I don't, my Take Your Pick with another glue dot, and I'm just going to pop that in on the back of the centre, and then just give it another little sort of tug to make sure it's fairly tight, and create my flower, and it will sort of hold itself in place. Where's my lid? And then, oh, it's not going to stick in place, is it now? That's typical. And then what I'm going to do is, if you push your finger through the middle, it will push that centre part, and then all you need is another glue dot. Pick it up if you can. This has all gone a bit crazy, this flower, but I'm hoping you get the idea. And then you can just stick it on to your box, and then just to add a little bit of interest to that middle part, we're going to go with that one, I think. And I did also find that this worked if you add another glue dot. It just adds a little bit of extra glue to it. But there's my little flower, and then I'm going to pop my leaves on. Excuse me. Pop my leaves on the top there. I will do a couple more flowers before I take my pictures. And then my Seal Plus, just on these tabs here. And then make your box up, and as you know, I do 2 of my tabs, bring my box in, place it on. The only thing with this is you won't have the reinforcement from this panel here, so obviously you don't press too hard, and then you can just pop it in place, press those in place, and then you can put it back on your box. Now the only thing I will say is that if when you do this part, and I'll try and do this to show you, if you find that when you've put your lid on, famous last words, you've accidentally pushed one of the panels in too far, if you grab your bone folder and just very carefully press inside, you can press it up and it will just bring your box back to shape. And there you have it. Sorry it's taken a bit longer than it should, but there you have your surprise box. I hope you like it, and I'm sorry it's taken so long. But have a great day, and I'll see you all again soon.